Welcome to part 1 of freeing every slave in Morrowind. If this is the first video on this challenge you are watching, I would recommend watching the prologue. It explains the rules and relevant information on this whole run. Anyways, on to the video. Now that our character has been created, we'll start off by robbing the entire Census and Exis office, usually after stealing the Plimeware ladder. God damn it. Usually after stealing the limeware platter, players would immediately start robbing the entire office. We won't do that just yet though. Instead, we will drop the platter right here, grab the key off this shelf, and drop it. After getting scolded by Celis Gravius, we'll pick up the key, hand him our papers, leave the building, create a start save, and then immediately use the key to unlock this door. This place offers more stuff to steal, and unlocking the door now means we will not have to worry about having the keys confiscated in the future. I also went this route so I didn't have to deal with extra pop-ups while robbing. Now we rob. Ignore those clothes over there. That's an add-on I created for a different character. We'll leave those there. We'll give Fargoth his ring and start doing transactions with Ariel. We'll be making a second trip to him after we rob the other building. Nope, you didn't see me. You can't see me. Before we start freeing any slaves, I'll be heading to Balmora to make some preparations. I'll deliver the package to Caius Casades so I can get 200 gold and speak with the 3 blade trainers in Balmora to get some free stuff from them. Then I loot every container in the city for some extra cash, useful items such as enchants and soul gems, and alchemy ingredients for potions. By the way, all the containers on the street that Caius lives on are empty. If you plan to go looting the containers in Balmora, avoid looking in those on his street. I make sure to buy the Devil Spear from Revere, as this will be my starting weapon since enchanted items allow us to fight Ghost. I'll also be using him as my moon sugar merchant, selling all the moon sugar I find to him. I'll drop whatever leftover moon sugar he can't afford on his floor so I can sell it to him later when his gold restocks. In order to get as much profit from merchants as possible, I often harass them into liking me. This did end up causing me to get my first few level ups pretty quickly because I made Speechcraft a major skill. By the way, my mic picked up me spamming the space and enter key, so it made my PNG's mouth stay open for the entire thing. Okay, we gotta sleep. I also made sure to wear some light armor, medium armor, and heavy armor equipment early in the playthrough so I could grind endurance quicker. If you watched the prologue, you'll know why I'm also wearing light armor. I probably won't try to grind attributes in any future playthroughs though, at least in casual ones. I've realized that grinding attributes to guarantee 5s just makes the game less fun and RP friendly. I might make a video in the future going more into this, or maybe I've already done it. Only time will tell. Anyways, we're going to need some spells. We'll grab All Smithy and Divine Intervention, Mark and Recall, Balaam's Balm, Soul Trap, any Restore attribute spells, and most importantly, Command Humanoid. I will create a Command Humanoid spell that is 4 points for 1 second on touch. It only needs to be 4 points because the highest level slave in the game is level 4. For this run, we will be joining House Alalu and God damn it! For this run, We will be joining House Halalu and reaching the rank of kinsman. This will be solely so that we can start the House Halalu quest, the Twin Lamps. This is because the slave associated with that quest, Jishada, will refuse to speak to us unless we start the quest. It's possible that I didn't need to be in House Halalu to do this quest, but I joined and got to the rank just to be safe. I could also use the reputation points that come with doing their quest. This is because if you reach level 20 and have at least 50 points of reputation, you can skip the Hordator and Ashlander quest, and Vivek will just give you Wraithguard. We will be doing the main quest throughout this run. This is because Valura Lervu, a Dunmer slave in Telerune, does not appear in the game until you start the Zainab Nerevarine quest. Since I would have to get this far into the main quest, I eventually decided to go ahead and defeat Dagoth. Although it wasn't necessary for this challenge, I felt that it would make sense to do it. Completing the main quest is basically freeing Morrowind from the threat of Dagoth. I also joined the Mages Guild so I could legally take the Restore Magicka potions from their supply chest. I still decided to do some quests for Ajira and Edwina because I felt that it would have been rude to just take their supplies without offering any contribution to the guild. The intervention amulets from Edwina will also come in handy. I won't be going over most of the quest because they aren't that interesting. We'll make sure to stop by the Gorak Manor in Caldera, rob the inhabitants, and then sell their own orcish armor to Creeper. Despite their reactions, they won't report us, nor will their disposition with us drop. We'll drop everything we can't sell on the ground and sell it to him the next time we visit. I could just wait 24 hours for his gold to return, but I don't like wasting in-game time. Even though I already bought a recall spell, I went ahead and also bought an Amulet of Recall from Varric Germain. It'll be a backup in case I run out of mana, or if I don't feel like casting it. Now it's time to start freeing some slaves. We'll start off at the Caldera mine, grab the key, and free Cassina, Delina, Gilm, Nisha, Kazura, and Enora. Freeing Delina before starting the Redoran quest, Shut Down the Mines, causes the quest to break. But since we are in House Halalu, we don't need to worry about that. So there's our first 6 slaves, 159 more to go. We'll use Raylan Halalu to store these bracers since his corpse has infinite storage space. However, I won't store them in his corpse just yet. Touching his corpse will start the quest, The Death of Raylan Halalu, and I want to start that quest by being assigned to it by Nolino Dorvain. Oh my god, we managed to go clean. Our next stop will be at the Telvanni canton of Vivek. Though first, I'm going to stop and visit Navili Saren in the St. Olms canton to buy some clothes which I will be wearing for the remainder of this run. I arrived at the Telvanni Canal Works where the slaves are being held captive. This man has the key needed to free them, so we'll need to kill him for it. Luckily, Morrowind gives us the ability to harass people into snapping out of anger, allowing us to kill them without any repercussions. Now that he is dead, we'll go ahead and free these slaves. Memjin, Woodneus, Iniri, El-Lurasha, and Drokanar. There is still one more slave in the Telvanni canton, and this is where our command spell will begin to show its use. Tilga at the Lizard's Head Inn can be freed using the key we just retrieved. However, the key can only free him if he is in the canal works. Time for our first escort mission. There's going to be a lot of escorting throughout this run, and they get more insane later on. Just wait until we get to Sadrith Mora. Anyways, let's use our spell to get him out of the inn. Wait, where's he going? Wait, is he... Wait a minute. Where's he going? Is he going to the canal works? We'll taunt him so that he chases us to the canal works, and use Command Humanoid again to bring him inside. Use Command Humanoid once more, and now we are able to free him. I also repaired the disposition I lost from taunting him. Taunting is going to be my method of escorting slaves. As long as they remain hostile, and I don't run too far away from them, they will follow me indefinitely, which will make escorting them a lot easier. Nalino Dorvain gives me a task to shut down the Ananias Egg Mine. During this quest, we'll stop at Saran and pay a visit to Derek Biel, a bounty hunter searching for an escaped slave. Derek wants us to help him find a runaway slave named Hagi. He also mentions that he hired someone named Hides His Eyes to help him catch Hagi. Plot twist: Hides His Eyes is Hagi. Argonians have two types of names, Gel and Tamrielic. Translating Hides His Eyes into Gel gives us Hagi. If your intelligence is 90, your character will immediately know that Hides His Eyes is the runaway slave. However, because we are playing as an Argonian, we only need 50 intelligence. I tell Hides His Eyes that I won't rat him out and immediately kill Derek afterwards. Oh. There we go. Ooh, 250 gold. Now to head off to Ananias Egg Mine to kill the queen. We will return to Saran in a future video. Oh, I like how this place looks. I need to take a screenshot of this. This looks amazing. This room looks amazing. Our next stop is at Fat Leg's Drop-Off in Hladod, specifically its basement, where we will speak to Raylam Iranith. Raylam is in possession of a slave named Rabina. He tasks us to deliver her to Vorair Hellas in Balmora. We absolutely ignore his request and instead bring her to the Argonian mission in Ebonheart. Kilaya awards us 400 gold for helping Rabina escape. Before I free any more slaves, I'm going to do all of Edwina Elbert's low-ranking quest, so I can get the Amulet of Allsmithy and Divine Intervention from her. These will save us magicka that we can use for other spells. On a side note, I reached Oathman and House of Lalu and have finally started the Murder Mystery quest. Now we can store all these slave bracers in his corpse. Before finishing Edwina's quest, let's finish this Halalu quest. I find out who the murderer is and kill him.
Who let you in here? Get out.
Shut up and draw. Oh, another... Oh. Good thing they can't go through doors. There we go. drop all this down here. Put this here. Before returning to Nalino, I get some training from Tedrin Brunner in order to get 5 points in strength when I level up. I then return to Nalina Jorvain to finish the quest. There's another reputation point, just 47 more to go. The last set of slaves we will be freeing in part 1 is those in the caves of Adamasartis and Aharonartis near Seydanine. Off to Seydanine. First, we arrive at Adamasartis, kill the bandits, and free Badargo, Banals, and Okau. Something else I will be doing in these dungeons is kill every hostile NPC in them. Keeping them alive would allow them to potentially buy new slaves or recapture any of the slaves we had freed. And we can't have that. Now we'll head to Aharonartis, which is on an island west of Seydanine. Oh wait, let me do something real quick. Oh god, it's an archer. Yeah, we're not even gonna soul trap these. And there we go, Mentor's Ring. Okay, now we head to Aharonartis. We'll kill off all the bandits.
You should have picked an easier opponent.
There we go. Oh, you just fell a really far distance. And free Wuling She, Aravi, Kishni, and Badana. I barely looted the 2 caves, by the way. In fact, later on I decided to ignore most of the loot I found in dungeons. The loot I did pick up was any gold or skill books, and any enchantments, scrolls, or potions I found useful. After leaving the cave, I spotted something odd. What is that? Do y'all see that? What is that? An ash slave? What is an ash slave doing here? The chairs, the tables, all confused. We hear the words, we must speak them. I went and finished the last of Edwina's low-ranking quest and finally got the amulets of Allsmithy and Divine Intervention. We managed to free our first 20 slaves so far. There's still 145 more to go, but we will free them next time. Stay tuned for part 2.